Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well, and in this video I'm talking about a big advantage Ferrari has in Monaco, as well as Kimi Antonelli's verdict on a meeting he had with Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff. So let's start with Ferrari. Now overall, they have the second fastest car in 2026, but one area that's letting them down is the engine. It's not as powerful as the Mercedes one. However, at the upcoming round in Monaco, power is not the main thing around that track. There are no long straights. It's a track full of low and medium speed corners. Now, McLaren's Lando Norris has suggested that Ferrari could be the team to beat at the Monaco Grand Prix weekend and take pole position given their strength in low speed corners. And sharing data around this, following the Canadian Grand Prix last time out, McLaren team boss Andrea Stella said, as quoted by GP Blog, "I think when we look at the overlay based on the GPS speed, we can see that Ferrari is definitely a competitive chassis in the corners. In the first sector, for example, they've always been very competitive. It's not only a low speed sector, but also one with several flowing corners. Normally, those characteristics tend to be rewarded at a track like Monaco. On top of that, we saw in Canada that Ferrari lost time on the straights, but that is much less of a factor in Monaco, so I think Lando is quite right in seeing Ferrari as possibly the favourite car for pole position in Monaco." Now make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my Formula 1 content and are kept up to date with F1 news. I've just reached 51,000 subscribers and all your support means so much to me. Thank you so much for it. Now going back to Ferrari, and I agree they can get pole position and win the Monaco Grand Prix. I think this will be their best chance so far this year, especially because of their smaller turbo. I think that's going to really help them with initial acceleration off those speed corners, and that's going to be crucial at the Monaco Grand Prix. And Lewis Hamilton, who was particularly fast in the Ferrari last time out in Canada, believes Ferrari could have a very strong chance in Monaco, with Hamilton saying, as quoted by GP fans, "I mean, that's the one track that power is not king. I think that's definitely car performance. I think our car could be really strong there." But let's move on to Mercedes, and their two drivers, Kimi Antonelli and George Russell, had an intense battle during the Canadian Grand Prix weekend, both in the sprint race and the main Grand Prix. I mean, in both those races, they were going wheel to wheel, and it was a really intense battle. Now, Antonelli was particularly wound up in the sprint race. He tried to go around the outside of Russell in turn 1. However, Russell wasn't having any of it and pushed Antonelli onto the grass, and Antonelli demanded a penalty over the team radio. Now, there was a meeting with the two drivers following the sprint race, and now Mercedes deputy team principal Bradley Lord has revealed that Antonelli compared the conversation he and Russell had with Toto Wolff during their Canadian Grand Prix sprint clash to being summoned to the headmaster's office. Appearing on the NU Silver Arrows podcast, Lord explained, as quoted by GP Blog, after the sprint in Canada, there was a sit down and a chat with Toto, as well as with the two drivers. They talked about how the sprint had gone and how they want to race each other going forward. Kimi referred to it as being a little bit like being called to the headmaster's office or the principal's office. That again was a very constructive and very amicable conversation. The message from the drivers was clear: trust us to race each other. That's what you've hired us to do, and we can do it. We're capable of doing it, and making sure that racing is always carried out with the interests of Mercedes foremost, not just the individual priorities of each driver. But that's going to be the video from me. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.